Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Simwood Roadmap webinar today. It's Thursday, the 6th of May, and apologies for being a few minutes late. Technical issues, of course. So today we are going to kick off and talk today about set the scene here, really, about why we wanted to present to our partners. Really, we want to make sure that you're involved in our journey, and for this we want to give you a high-level view of what our continued development is of the platform. We're going to take questions today on our community Slack channel, so hopefully you've had time to register. If not, you could pop back to the email that we sent out about an hour ago, and there's a form there that needs completing. The support team receive that, and they'll have a look out for that to get you connected in. So questions into the Slack channel, please. So to introduce the team here, you probably already know the team, but in case you're a newer partner, let me introduce you to Charles. Charles is the CTO here at Simwood, and is the founder of SIP-Centric, on which our Simwood partner platform sits on, and that he continues to oversee and develop. He's an active contributor on open source projects within the telecom sector, so he's sort of more widely acclaimed than just here at Simwood. Also, we have Fraser Barnett, who heads up the sales here in the Simwood team. He's got many years of experience, despite his age, working within telecoms. So if you haven't already spoken and met with Fraser, then this is an opportunity for you to get to know him today and going forward as well. My name is Claire Brown, and I've only recently joined Simwood, so I'm a new addition to the team, and I think I've joined at a very exciting time. There's lots happening, and something that the company is strongly looking forward to is the next 25 years as it continues to grow and develop. So let's move on to the agenda and what we're doing here today. So this is just a high-level view of what we're going to cover. We have kept this a fairly short webinar, just to kind of give a flavour of what we're doing. There may be questions that come up that you want to ask as we go along in the community Slack, or may get you thinking a bit more about your partnership with Simwood and how we can work more together going forward. So we look forward to hearing about that either now or going forwards. So we'll move on then to the current releases within the portfolio here. And the first thing really is we're going to talk about the mobile apps, and I'm going to hand over to Charles to discuss this with you today.
Thanks, Claire. Well, hopefully all of our partners, or most of our partners, would have at least experienced or downloaded and tried the Vertical app, which is the unbranded or the white labeled version of our mobile extension or mobile client. The Android version is coming. We've been promising this for some time, but it is actually in the submission process as we speak. But version 1.4, which is the latest version, and which is now live in the iOS store, and is the one that will hit the Android or the Play Store when it's accepted by Google, is the latest and greatest. It's had a wealth of improvements, bug fixes, and enhancements, all thanks to feedback from early testers, both partners and their customers. And yeah, that's about all there is to say, other than get it and try it, because it really is very solid, very stable now, well tested, and if you've not seen the branding interface already, you'll catch a glimpse of that a bit later in this webinar. But that enables you to customize the look and the feel of the app for your customers, so that they see your brand, your colors, and even your font and your style. So yeah, any questions on that, Claire, that you can think of I may have missed?
So when are these going to be available, did you say? So we've got obviously the Apple version in the App Store, and then the Android version.
Android version is currently in the submission process. So we're gathering the collateral needed to complete the submission, and then once that's accepted by Google, it will be live to download and install.
Great, and we can let partners know as soon as we're aware that it's available as part of this anyway. And on the community Slack channel, I think it's going to be very popular in the next few weeks for information.
Yeah.
Great, thank you very much. So the next item was the tooltips, which you briefly touched on there, and sort of seeing the portal. Fraser, if you could maybe talk to us about the tooltips. I know you would like to do a little demo and show around what we've got going on there. Thanks,
Claire. Okay, so I prepared a small demonstration of tooltips, which Charles and his team have been working on solidly over the last few months. I got my hands on it a couple of days ago and was extremely excited to see what they built. They'd kept it undercover for most of that. So let me share this screen and see. Okay, can you see that, Claire, Charles?
Looks good to me.
Yeah, okay, good. So most of you will be aware of the branding interface that was released some time ago. And since the branding interface has been released, we've now put tooltips in. Tooltips essentially allow you to customize the dashboard even further. So you can have a whole host of different instructions for your customers, or force them to potentially knowledge bases, or drive phone calls into your sales team, perhaps. So if I show you roughly what it looks like, so you can see when I hover the mouse over, you get this orange kind of flashing bubble. And that then enables this kind of instructions interface for you, where you can see I pre-prepared some text, and you can do all sorts of different ones. So let me show you around here quickly. I picked the Raven as an icon, but I suspect most people have the light bulb or something like that as their icon. And when you hover over it, that's what that text shows up at in that form. That's the pop-up. If I move over to, let's say, incoming numbers, you can see there's more on this page, and you can customize what each of these look like. So the top one there that's got an exclamation mark next to it, that is an alert. And the alert text again can be written however you see fit. You can put embedded links in there, change the icons, choose what color it appears in, which again is linked to your branding. So if you have sort of pink and blue or blue and white, then you can decide what the banner text sits in. I've got green on my demo account. The default destination again is probably one that people need instruction on. Customers don't always know what's what. So in some of these scenarios, I've actually embedded a video. Where is it? And in this case, I just picked Charles being his kind of glamorous assistant. You can embed YouTube videos, Vimeos, whatever you like, and instruct customers on how to use specific elements of the portal. And then finally, I think the last one is the alert, which is that one, the identifier. And if you hover over that one, you can see within the alert, you've got slightly different formats for how it might look. So in this case, I put a table in, and put some basic text in, and again picked a different icon. But I hope from that you can kind of see what's capable and what you can do with it. And we welcome any feedback and questions.
Thanks, Fraser. That looks like it's a relief option really for partners if they want to brand it into their own offering, right? Is it,
yeah, so it allows them to customize it. They can put, their own phone numbers in, or their own knowledge base articles, or even their own pre-recorded videos. The creativity that they can sort of impose here is pretty much endless.
And so the end user experience therefore really kind of matches whatever else they have out there from other offerings as well. That's great. So how can partners get hold of this, start using it? Where do they go?
Basically, this is all included in the partner platform already. So it's just a case of Charles's development team enabling this and pushing it out to the wider platform. And I believe that's imminent, isn't it, Charles?
Yeah, that's right. Well, the branding interface is obviously already there. So partners that are used to using that to customize their colors and their fonts and logos and things, they can just go to the same place, and within I would say the next few days, but certainly I think the official launch point is beginning next week, Claire, if you can confirm. Then they'll see tooltips on the left hand side there, as you've just demonstrated, Fraser.
Yeah, we thought we'd give existing partners a good sneak peek of everything coming up, and then next week we'll actually send out communication to all the partners in an email with details about all the things we're discussing today, and if there's any release dates that aren't immediate, then it'll specify that. But we're expecting that when they get that notification, everything's going to be good to go and use. Great stuff. Okay, so on to the third piece, which is, I know, been quite a big piece and on the cards for quite a while, is our residential accounts. So Charles, do you want to take that over? I know that's a demo piece that you've been keen to give and show what we can do here.
I sure can. Let me just see if I can share this tab. This one here. Okay, can you see that? It's okay for you? Excellent. Okay. So, the residential offering, it benefits from the use of the existing platform. Therefore, existing partners can begin to offer this. Obviously, once commercials have been agreed and signed, they can begin to offer this immediately using the same assets, the same portals. So all of their branding will be set up and available to see by the new residential customers from the word go. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to demonstrate the two flavors, if you will, the two levels of residential access that we provide to the platform, and the differences between the functionality that trickles through. What I'll do is I'll add a customer first with this can be my family. Ignore this company here. Oh, actually, no, this is not going to work. I'm not logged in with appropriate permissions. That's great, isn't it? Let me use some of the existing ones. I think we already have two. So let me hop over. Essentially, when you create a new customer here, there'll be an additional drop down to select the account type. There are 3 account types. The first is business, which is the one that you're used to. Residential light, which is almost a WLR replacement. So it's for those that just want a single line into their home, perhaps with multiple handsets around the place connected to it, receiving or ringing together, or making calls from the same number, and perhaps a voicemail facility too. So that's the light option. The more premium option is more aligned with what you would see at a business where there is a concept of extensions, and each family member will have their own extension, so that, for example, your teenage son or daughter can have their own line in their bedroom with their own number that their friends can call, but they can also receive calls to the main house number, and each of the family members can download and install the vertical or the fully branded apps to make and receive calls from their home numbers on the move. So I'll skip this creation step because I'm not logged in with my admin user at this. I created a demo one and then realized that actually we've not exposed this functionality yet until it goes live. So so that was good foresight. Let me hop over then instead to the
while you're doing that then.
Yeah.
Whilst you're doing that hop over, because I know sometimes trying to do the two things at one time can be hard to keep the brain going. I'll bring Fraser in here just to discuss actually residential and one of the things that we found. So Fraser, we've had lots of conversations about the need for residential as a solution for parts of the market, but not all the marketplace. What have you found in conversations with specific types of partners?
Early feedback gave us some interesting use cases where we came across potentially a couple of different types of user. So you could have, for example, an OAP type user that just wants a phone in their hallway, and they're not interested in downloading an app on their phone or logging into a portal and making changes when they go on holiday, perhaps. But then you've got the other side where you might have a millennial family that does embrace the technology, is interested in controlling their phones and doing more with it, and that's where we sort of landed on two flavors of residential, a kind of light and premium version to allow people to kind of mix and match, or not mix and match, but one or the other, with a clear upgrade path between the two, which Charles will be showing off shortly. One's fully functional, the other one's limited to just a phone with a user.
I think that's been the one for me that's been great that's come out of this, is that as part of the work that we've done, that we've identified where WLR3 is going end of life, that actually there is a need for a WLR4 and that kind of simple replacement over most likely a fiber connection, although just faster speeds. But actually the more hyper connected home these days actually does want more out of a phone service, and as we've mentioned, we talk about the teenagers, but actually even talking to my mum about it, she loved the idea of having the app on her phone, so when she's out, if the doctor calls, because her landline number to her is as personal as her address, that landline is going to ring the app on her phone, and she's got the ability to speak to the doctor wherever she is. So that, I think this hyper connectedness is something that couldn't happen across the kind of the standard POTS line that we get to do with that kind of real reimagining of a service for home users. Thanks. Are you okay, Charles, to pick up from there with your demo?
I am indeed, yeah. So thankfully there are already some of the varying types of accounts on this demo partner. To go nicely with this lime green that Fraser's chosen from the branding interface for this demo partner account, very fetching. So let's start business everybody's used to. So I've filtered the accounts there by business accounts, and if we choose this one, for example, you'll see everything that you're used to, all of the features, all of the same items in the dashboard. Existing partners will know that this black bar along the top here is only for your eyes and for ours. The customer doesn't see that. That's called the admin bar. But because I'm logged in as a partner level user here, I'm seeing it, and so are you on this demo. So I won't spend any time on the business account because you know what that does. Let's move now down to the residential, and again, you need to forgive the spelling of, or the terminology here. These are placeholders in the preview as we were developing, and these are soon to be replaced over the next few hours, actually, with light and premium. Light being the full spelling. So let's look at. In fact, let's start with a light version then. So a light residential account has literally phone numbers, quite literally phone numbers and nothing else. Phone numbers are the lines, if you like, if you will, into the house. And for partners wanting to send out pre-configured handsets, all of the SIP settings that you would normally see on an extension are available here, along with the number. Now, the end user, because the end user of a residential light account has limited access to do things or to change things, the end user won't see this, because the only function of them logging into the portal essentially is to get their call history and to view bills and anything else that you wish to expose to them. But for partners wanting to send out pre-configured handsets or routers with ATAs embedded in them, or whatever the case may be, the SIP settings are available here. And then the voicemail is attached to the number, as opposed to the extension where it may be in a business scenario. That is really the long and short of residential light. Now, what we'll see if we switch back here and now take a look at the slightly more feature-rich residential version. I don't know which one to use here. It's okay to use the Barnett family one, Fraser?
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. So Fraser's actually set up this as a test or a demo, if you will, for his sort of scenario, or his fictitious scenario, but using his name. Now you'll see on the left-hand side there are slightly more items in the menu. Not too many, because residential doesn't have queues, it doesn't have IVRs, but it does have the notion of extensions, and extensions can be configured to ring singly, or they can be configured to ring in a group of extensions, or either all at once or in a cascade fashion. Again, as you're familiar with from the business platform. So if we look here, and we're going to add a new number for this purpose. I'll just go with a UK-wide number. There are some slight improvements over the business, over the existing platform, and these improvements are actually making their way to the business accounts too, such that when you select a destination for calls to this number, usually you can select one destination, and if you want to ring a group of people or extensions, then you would have to pre-create a ring group first, or a queue, and then add those extensions to the group, and then select the group as a destination for the number. And there's lots of clicks and lots of steps involved. Now, obviously, for residential customers, we wanted to make it as simple as possible, and actually then we decided, well, this simplification is beneficial to all. So you'll see this nice addition. But we can select, let's say this number needs to ring just Fraser and his lovely wife. We can go next, and it's actually detected there is a group already containing these two extensions called adults only. Do I want to use it? Yeah, actually I will. That's exactly what I need to happen. I'll click done and save. And that's it, all set up with the number ringing the two adults in the family all the time. Now, this has the addition of time-based rules, where we can send all calls after 10 p.m. to voicemail, for example, or if we're on holiday, to directly to voicemail, or to a mobile number if we know that the 4G reception where we're going is not going to be very good, or we don't have roaming on our data and we're abroad. You get the idea. And then what we can do further is we can invite people to to install the app and connect to their extension. So that's probably more appropriate to the named extensions, but we can invite somebody to use this extension directly from the extension. So again, this is an improvement or an enhancement on the existing offering, whereby you have to go to a separate page to invite users and then associate with them the two extensions. There we go. And that invite has been sent. Now, as soon as that's accepted, that user is able to hop to their app store, install the app, log in with the credentials that they create when they accept the invite, and they're immediately connected to this extension. And that about concludes the demo. I don't think there's anything else to show, but I'll certainly open up to questions. I think there'll be plenty on this. Over to you, Claire.
Thanks, Charles. That was great. And it looks like that. Obviously, there are quite distinct differences there between the light version and the premium, and it does sound like that premium has really been thought through for that kind of home user, and has maybe driven some of the business changes as well that you mentioned there.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I think what we've tried to do from the outset, given it's a residential product, is try to add some optimizations or some simplifications along the way, and then it immediately became apparent that these simplifications actually benefit everyone, all users. The easier we can make it these things, and the less clicks are involved in configuring something, the better. So yes, indeed, they filtered their way up the chain, if you like, to all account types, including business, which I think will be well received. Hopefully so. Feedback will confirm.
Great. Well, hopefully we'll get some in the Slack channel as well. And so partners that are current business partners, this is something that they need to do something to get access to this. It won't immediately be available to all partners.
Correct, and I think Fraser can probably answer that question better than I. I mean, it will be left disabled to begin with, and partners will need to have a conversation with Fraser. Fraser, what are the steps involved with that?
Similar to when we launched SIP trunks for partner, it was turned off by default, and we need to get consent by way of an order form or something to then unlock this feature. So if you've got an account manager, get in touch. If not, sales@simwood.com. We can talk about the commercials behind and the commitment behind getting residential.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. So the next slide that we've got is about our roadmap and what we're going forward to. So we've put a couple of bits on here, and what we thought is maybe make this a little bit more of a discussion between the three of us, rather than just talking solidly through this is what we're doing and these are the next steps that we're taking. So US launch, I know that's been something that's been spoken about before. We are doing work in the US. It's not as though there's kind of anything brand new to people watching today about us working in the US. But I'm keen to sort of talk about the fact that is the product completely different for the US market for partner, and and within what Simwood are doing in the US, or is it is it just a change of currency?
Yeah, I can answer that. Yes and no to both those questions. Yes, it is actually the same product. It's the same platform with the same features, with sort of architected in the same way. The only difference in terms of its architecture is that anything which is sensitive to latency or distance in the route the voice takes, for example, has been deployed in the US. So there are local POPs, as it were, or local availability zones, which to which US customers will connect and make and receive calls over by default. Now, of course, if the call is headed to the UK, then it will hop across to the UK side and vice versa. But otherwise, the platform itself is identical. The main differences lie, and the reason that we've split the launch is that there are a number of regional differences or regional variations. Currency, you mentioned, is the obvious one. Time zone. You know, when a customer logs into the portal, the calls are, whilst they're all stored in a central time zone, the users want to see it in their own local time zone, so they know that call happened at 10 p.m. their time, not 10 p.m. somewhere else, and they have to work it out backwards from there. So currency and time zone, the taxes, so you know, the equivalent to the VAT that we add by default on the platform at the moment, because it was designed for the UK market from the outset, are different, and then there are various regulatory differences or equivalents to what we have here, but we have to meet them all over again in perhaps slightly different ways or with different bodies. So there's quite a lot of work involved in getting it to market, even though the platform itself is just the same.
And you talked about the taxes there, that my brief understanding is they're state-based as well, not, like we have VAT across the whole of the UK. It's not as straightforward as perhaps ours.
Yeah, it can get very complicated very quickly.
Fab. Okay. It would be great when we can kind of talk more about that with anybody that works across both UK and the US as well. Next, we've got connectivity here on the map. What's involved in standing up a product set like connectivity for Simwood?
Lots of a well-connected network, a well-peered network. Some resilience and redundancy across everything, because we'll be providing somebody's home internet connection or somebody's office connectivity. So there needs to be a large degree of resilience there, and we have the benefit in adding this product of already having that in the Simwood network. It's extremely well connected, extremely well peered, and extremely diverse. So actually, most of the major requirements in offering the connectivity product have already been satisfied. So this was the next logical step. Everything, voice particularly, is becoming a feature rather than a service of other things. So it stands to reason that that having a connectivity piece over which the voice product as a feature operates, and is back to its source of origin in as shorter time or as short a distance as possible, with as reliable a path as possible, is a real sort of selling point for partners and customers alike.
Great. I mean, I come from a background from connectivity, so I know that there are, how complex it can be to bring in all those elements of different types of connectivity as well. And you're right. I think having that stable platform to begin with, and the peering that we have at Simwood, and the resilience that's there to begin with, is something that's really going to help drive this forward for us. So I think it'd be great when we can add that in for partners to consume and offer to their customers as well.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And the important things to note here, Simwood's always been sort of about the API first approach. So obviously this this connectivity product will come with its API to enable provisioning or value add on top. Programmatically, there will be a portal, but that portal will consume entirely the API in exactly the same way as the existing wholesale portal does, and the Simwood and the SIP-centric platform has always adopted the same approach too. So yeah, it goes very nicely hand in hand with everything else. The second thing to bear in mind is that this is in line with the other partner offerings, completely white labelled service or white labelable service.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Be looking forward to talking more about that in the next webinar. So on that then, the upgrading infrastructure continuation that we've kind of put here on the roadmap as a a big piece that's going on in the development team at the moment. What's involved in kind of that upgrading of Simwood infrastructure? You've talked about how we're already peered with lots of other providers, and we've got the resilience there. So what's this about?
Well, on the wholesale side, we've seen unprecedented growth over the past few months, 6 months, and and yes, whilst we have the resilience and the network is second to none, we have to preempt the continued growth, and so there's always upgrading, enhancing, adding capacity. In fact, currently right now adding additional POPs or availability zones. That on the wholesale side, that's pretty much always the case. And of course, we spoke last time on a previous webinar about the move or the migration of the applications and the voice stack to Kubernetes, which is for those that are not familiar with it, it's a way of orchestrating deployment of applications and services in an automated way, in a cloud agnostic way or a infrastructure agnostic way, and it allows us to kind of scale in and out, not just automatically, but on demand as well. So we can really mix and match technologies, all with this Kubernetes sat on top of it. So yeah, the wholesale side is continues on that thread. Then of course you have the SIP-centric side, or the hosted platform, which has to date been hosted to a lesser degree as we move forward on the SIP-centric legacy infrastructure and network. And right now we're probably about 70-80% migrated across to the Simwood infrastructure, which is great. It's really great news, and it helps to not only unify the offering and the picture of where things are, but just helps to sort of instill that confidence that everything can grow with demand as we move forward.
That's great. So there's although we've just put it as one item, it sounds like there's quite a few sub-projects there that go on both the wholesale side and the partner side, as well as overall looking at how the pieces fit together within the overall Simwood kind of growth and roadmap and development that goes on.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that would be crazy not to have that at the forefront of our mind every day. It's a major piece of work all the time, and it's an ongoing piece of work. But we can't lose sight of it. So yes, whilst we have all of these shiny new things on the roadmap that are visible and people can see, it's important to take comfort, if you like, from the fact that we are continually upgrading, improving, and migrating things where necessary to enable future growth of our partners, and more importantly, because it's our partners reputations as much as it is ours. So yeah, it's a big part of what we do.
Great stuff. And we've got here much more with a couple of icons there, light bulbs going off. Can there be a bigger plan than kind of these things? What can we talk about?
Always a bigger plan, Claire. Yeah, there's lots going on, isn't there? But you know, I think it's difficult to know how far ahead we look today. We want to,
yeah.
To take
Sorry, yeah, I was going to say that, you know, we said that we'll try and continue these on a quarterly basis. So, you know, if there are things that come up, we're quite keen, aren't we, to make sure that we don't get ahead of ourselves too much in terms of what's coming on that roadmap. I've seen the list and the tickets that are there. There's plenty for the dev team to work on. But yeah, I mean, how confident are you of talking about that at the moment, or is that part of the reason to kind of keep the regularity of things?
Yeah, I mean, there are things in the pipeline. We have to be careful that what we announce is things that we are actively working on, because every quarter we have a reprioritization exercise, which means that certain things may be given a lower priority or indeed a higher priority, and things may shift around slightly. But there are things which are in under development currently, such as adding international numbering and gold numbering to the portals, so for self-service. Those items have always been available, but there's quite a manual process involved in adding them. So there are some nice things in the pipeline that will actually speed up delivery and enable upselling, and for partners, customers to add these things direct themselves. Yeah, I'm remiss to give too much away, because at this stage it is early days. But I think if anyone wants conversations separately to ask about specific or individual features, then I'm very willing to have them.
That's great. I think that's one thing that's quite important going forward, is that feedback and that two-way conversation with our partners and customers about what we're doing now, what we're planning to do, and that might be part of this kind of thing as well, that knowing that we now do these regular internal reviews of what's in the pipeline, that with those priorities can change, and we need that feedback from our partners and customers to help with some of that. It's probably, we don't want to talk too much about things that could be pushed out by another quarter because of changing priorities, but being able to talk about what we can deliver here is the important bit. And we'll make sure that these are quarterly. So the next one will hopefully see these three things as the current releases, and the next items on the agenda to go forward.
Exactly, and that's I think that's the message really, is for anyone interested, then just remember that these are regular. So the next time around, those three light bulbs that you see there will be the in progress things that we can talk about and actually demo and give a sneak peek or preview. Brilliant
stuff. Thanks, Charles. So we've got a section for questions that we've set. I haven't really seen many questions coming in from the channel. I know I've been asking lots of questions, so I hope they're the kind of things that our partners wanted to ask and are helpful. But also there's plenty of opportunity, and we're going to make sure that those opportunities stay available to to partners to ask questions about what we're doing, what we've done, what we're going forward. I have seen one thing in the chat about some feedback about the what we've got from the vertical apps, which would be great. And I think Kathleen there has said about sending it into support to make sure that it gets to the right place. So that's great. Fab. Okay, so we've said about trying to keep this simple. The next thing really from my point of view and where I want to work with partners is really just continuing to develop on our partner ecosystem. I think we're quite fortunate to have some lively partners which really help, that kind of give us some good feedback. We're going to make sure that you're getting kind of regular updates. So, for example, as I've said, next week, actually, when these things go live, you'll get a notification of that, where you can access the information or what you need to do next. There will also be a newsletter that may be for a wider audience within the partner base that that you want them to hear about what's going on at Simwood. We're also looking at some white labeled marketing. This will probably start quite basic. I've had a few conversations with some partners about having some useful material from us around, for example, how copper's going end of life and how they can have the right conversations. So don't get too excited about what we start with maybe in the next quarter, but this is coming, and I'm really keen to support our partners with the right kind of material here. So we'd love to hear from you on that. As I said, feedback, surveys, and kind of having sessions with partners is really important to us. And I think because we're quite an open team, we do have lots of internal conversations as well. So, if it doesn't come to me, if it comes to Fraser or Clinton or Charles or Graham or whoever it is that's kind of you mainly connect with within the company, that information does get back, and it is really useful to hear from you what you think, where we can improve, what we're doing well, and it all really helps and counts. So even just a thumbs up on something that we send out is really useful to hear from you. I've really enjoyed, as part of joining the company and seeing what goes on the community Slack channels. I think they're really useful. I know some partners have expressed how useful they are. If there is a bit of an issue, it saved them having to register a ticket potentially, and they can see when things are cleared down. But also that kind of community engagement that we want to encourage, and we're very much part of as well. So you're going to see me more vocal on the channel as well. And love to hear more from you about things that you want as well. So in terms of today, that is really it from us. Very grateful for so many of you turning up today, and we hope that you found it a useful session. The community Slack channel is always there for you, and we will be following up with feedback requests as well on what you thought, what worked well. Really keen to hear about which of the current releases you think you'll find most useful, and also about some of the pieces on the roadmap there. I know as we get closer to it, we'll kind of start discussing more around particularly like the connectivity and things. So really good to know which partners are going to be most keen to get involved in that. So that's it for me. Thank you very much to Charles and Fraser for the demonstrations and the conversation today. As I said, I hope you find it useful. And there's always, as this is live on YouTube, please subscribe and like our stuff. As any YouTuber would say, click the link below. My daughter would love all that, to see how many likes we get. And thanks very much, and look forward to presenting and seeing you again soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.